to the second update on the Strategy First Investment Charter. There are 2 points of the investment charter I'd like to take you through today, which hopefully you can see on screen, and I'll be using a few slides to illustrate some of the key ideas behind those points. The 2 points we're going to talk about today are take the long view. So the idea is don't panic, stick to your long-term plan, and preventing emotion from overtaking reason. And the second point is to make informed decisions and then act. So there's a huge amount of uncertainty in the world, and information can't fix that entirely. So you have to have some confidence in your long-term plan, and you need to be prepared to take action as required. So let's dig into those in a little bit more detail. So taking the long-term view, this is vitally important in a situation like the one we're faced with today, where we're in the middle of a crisis and a big fall in the investment markets. It's really important to put that into context, which is what this slide attempts to do. So you can see here we've plotted the last 120 years of the Australian Stock Exchange. So there's been some terrible and terrifying events over that last 120 years, which you can see on the screen there. We've got everything from wars to pandemics to horrible financial catastrophes. But the thing you'll notice is that when you put them in a long-term perspective, none of them look too bad. Now, that's not to say the current environment is not scary, because it is. But you have to take the bigger picture view and realize that in your long-term plan, this is just going to be a blip. One day, hopefully in the not too distant future, we'll come out the other side of this, continue to focus on the long term, and you'll see the benefit in that long-term plan. The thing that makes this quite difficult, though, is your emotions, which we completely understand are probably going mad just about now. So the slide I've got on screen here is what we call the roller coaster of investor emotions. And I suspect that quite a few of you at the moment are probably sliding down the slippery slope in the blue there of denial, fear, depression, panic, and so on. As I said, which is completely understandable, given there's an awful lot of scary information and news and events going around at the moment. But the key thing to remember is that as counterintuitive as it sounds, the times when the world seems the most terrifying are actually the times when there is the greatest opportunity for a long-term investor. And that's kind of highlighted by that depression point you can see on the chart there. So if you can resist the urge to let your emotions take over and make some smart decisions, you can really benefit from that in the long term. However, as this chart shows, making those informed decisions can be a bit difficult. There's a huge amount of noise out there. And at the moment, you're probably getting that from all sides, from mainstream media, from social media, from friends, relatives, anybody else who's got an opinion these days. And of that noise, a small subset of that is actually reliable information. And an even smaller subset of that is actually information that is useful to you and your decision making. So one big thing you can do to help yourself is to try and tune out some of that noise and to make informed decisions. Thankfully, though, you don't have to do that all on your own. Help is here, your advisor. So we can't give you the crystal ball outcome, but we can do an awful lot to help you manage your emotions, keep you focused on that long-term plan, and ensure that you get the best outcomes both financially and emotionally. Which leads me to the final point that I have today, which is take action. So there are things that matter and things you can control. And where those two overlap is an area where you should take action. And today's environment is a perfect example of that. Even though the world around us seems terrifying, by acting now, and by acting I don't necessarily mean make huge decisions like throw all your money into the market or to panic and sell and take everything out of the market, but I mean to act in accordance with your long-term plan and your objectives. And if you do that with the help of your advisor, as I mentioned, it gives you the greatest chance of achieving those objectives and having the best outcome over the long term. So the other 2 points I want to talk to you about today, there will be future updates as these interesting times continue, and we'll talk about some more points in the investment charter that become relevant. But as per usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact your advisor and they'll be happy to talk you through any of it. Thank you.